This is Steve Ridgel, and I spend a lot of my time helping people learn how to talk about Jesus and talking to people about Jesus. And primarily, I use stories from Scripture, stories from my life, stories from people in my community of faith and their life. That's how I teach people about Jesus. It's how Jesus taught. One of my favorite stories is Jesus talking to the Samaritan woman at the well. It's in John 4, and I just have been reading that again lately, and a couple of things have stood out. One I talked about last time, the fact that Jesus knew everything about her and still wanted to give her living water, still loved her anyway. That's powerful. But the other thing that's powerful in that story that we sometimes don't talk about enough, she ran back into the village and told everyone, here's someone who knows everything I ever did. Can he be the Christ? And the whole town goes out to hear him, and they even say, we believed in him because of your testimony. You know, your story is powerful. You have a testimony. If you're a believer, your testimony may be that you grew up in a generations of faith. You may go back 5, 6, 7, 8 generations of believers. That's a powerful story to see that heritage play out. Maybe your testimony is that you didn't know Jesus at all until someone who cared about you shared Jesus with you. Maybe your testimony is you hit a really bad patch in life and thought something's got to be better, and someone spoke to you about Jesus. Maybe your testimony is you were a believer and lost your way and came back home. Maybe your testimony is you've watched God heal you as you struggled. But we've all got a story about what Jesus has done for us, what God has done for us. We need to share that testimony because, one, it gets people interested. Is there something to this Jesus? I've seen this guy change his life, or I see how this guy lives, or I've seen that healing or heard that story, and maybe there is something to Jesus. And if that's true, we've got to be sharing our testimony so people hear it. And maybe it'll intrigue people enough to say, please tell me more. Let me know more about this Jesus. I want to learn who he is so I can make a decision about him. Your testimony is powerful. So I think you need to think about what God's done for you. You need certainly to share it with family and friends. Share it in your church community so they are encouraged, but share your testimony with other people. This is what God has done for me. When you do that, amazing things happen. And it may just be that people find Jesus through your story. This is Steve Ridgel telling you God's done amazing things in my life, and he can do amazing things in yours.